G'day, AJ Mahari here, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about transforming your self-talk. It's so very important. You can learn skills to help you sit still, find peace, and transform your negative self-talk into positive self-talk. It's all about what you think, how you think, and where to put your focus. And to know what you think and how you think and what's going on with your focus and what your self-talk is, it requires that we really kind of focus, learn to become aware, more consciously aware of what's going on subconsciously. We have to bring that into our consciousness to be able to really identify what is our self-talk, and if it's really critical or self-hating or negative, how are we going to go from there to positive self-talk, and why is it important? Positive self-talk is an ongoing journey reflective of the choices that you can make to empower yourself. And as I go to this next picture and slide here, I just want to say quickly that this picture here is a picture of a park in a city where I live now. And I lived in the same city when I was a teenager, but I've come and gone and lived other places. So this very park bench is what I'm about to talk about, an experience that I had on this very park bench. So when I was 14 years old, I was sitting on that exact bench. I had run away from home, which really meant, tore out of the house. My father tried to grab me. It was violence happening. I ran out, and I jumped on my bike, and I just took off. And I rode down to that park, and I sat on that bench for 4 hours, staring at the water, into the darkness of night and beyond, wanting to be free of a personality disorder, dysfunctional, abusive family. They had mirrored to me and taught me nothing but negative thinking and critical self-hating, negative self-talk. That's how they were with themselves too. I sat there knowing that as much as I wanted to be a free bird and fly away to heal, I knew something was wrong. I had to go back to that family that night, But they're no longer in my life now. But the point is, then it would take me 3 more years to the age of 17 before I would leave that family for college and university and therapy and recovery and healing and learning to reframe all the negative, critical self-talk, hated myself, negative, critical self-talk, into positive, loving, affirming, all is possible self-talk. I found myself, and I learned to love myself, to fly, to want to give back to others, to be alive, to know what it is to be averagely mentally healthy and not toxic, and just, relating to people and experiencing life and having such gratitude and all kinds of things. And I'll take up the whole video if I keep going on right here. So, but you can do it too. You can choose to fly. You could change any situation you're in right now if you'll just choose first to love yourself. Each one of us engages in self-talk. Do you find yourself saying things like, I'm not sure I'm good enough, or I'm not good enough, or why am I so anxious about what I know or I think I know I can do? What if, fill in the blank, if only I just can't, I just can't do it. I just don't want it. I just can't contain it. I just can't stand it. And to some degree or other, at varying times in our lives, we all will have a thought or some negative self-talk like that. But if that's really pervasive for you, then it's more suggestive than ever that this is really important that you start working on this if you haven't already. Education is key, and awareness. And the transformational awareness that you have available here, not just with this video, of course, but what I'm trying to offer you here, is the personal growth journey started, if you haven't already, or a continuation of it, your personal growth journey of turning your negative self-talk into positive self-talk. It will change your life. You were born to grow. It's a worthwhile inner journey to take. Each experience in your life is trying to teach you something and remind you of that precious lifelong personal growth and development journey that is life, that we are all on, whether we're engaging it or not. So I hope that you'll embrace it with gratitude, and yes, even when it hurts, maybe even especially when it hurts. Because like I've said elsewhere, the pain is often what's in the way. Negative self-talk, negative thinking, not loving yourself, that's painful. The pain that's in the way is the way. Don't allow your wounds to transform you into someone that you're not. What a great quote. But the point is, this happens to so many people, and it happened to me 2 years ago. Because we develop a false self. We don't know who we are. Not everybody has these issues to this degree, but mastering the art of self-talk means you speak truthfully and positively to yourself. And for those of you who may have lost yourself, you're not sure who you are, I'm talking about speaking truthfully to your authentic self, not the false self. You may need to learn or add to your skill set to accomplish this. You may need to address past woundedness in this process and heal it. Are you compassionate with yourself, or are you highly self-critical? Think about that, because awareness is everything here. The power of your self-talk is all-encompassing. Your self-talk influences what you believe about yourself. If your self-talk is positive, you'll feel more positive toward others. If your self-talk is critical, you will judge and or feel much more critical of others, and maybe not even realize why, or how that affects your relationships. What you believe about yourself is what you can easily end up experiencing from others. In psychology, that's called projection. You will project onto others either your positive or your negative critical, especially the negative critical inner self-talk. End up devaluing someone else when it's really yourself you're not feeling good about. Reframing negative self-talk will help you to relate to yourself and to others much more effectively. And that's a really life-changing thing for very many people. Here's 7 techniques to help your personal self-talk transformation to positive and an ongoing life-affirming and rewarding journey. Be transformed. Transform yourself. Transformation through skills practice and meditation. First of all, number 1, keep it real. When you're honest, and by the way, cultivate an honest kind of awareness. If you've been denying things or you're not really sure what's going on, try to, get more information. Ask people. Be brave. Because when you're honest with yourself, you feel more comfortable with yourself. If you know you could have done better on a work project, acknowledge it to yourself. Or if you know you could have done better with your partner, or if you really upset somebody, or if you've half or 3/4 burned a bridge, in just relating to people in general, then try to go back and have the courage to, take responsibility for what you said or did. Own it. Keep it real. Part of growing, part of helping you to know what your self-talk is and to change it. And part of making progress and improving in life is being genuine with yourself about what you're doing or how you're behaving or what you're saying. You do not have to continue. Okay, so nobody's perfect, see? Anyway, you don't have to continue in the negative, self-critical, self-talk ways and the results that they give you, which are miserable and painful. You can learn self-affirming, positive self-talk to help you be even more real. You are stronger than your challenges. Trust me, I learned I was, and if I am, anybody could be. I mean, anybody is, once they realize they are. And your challenges will make you stronger, and I can attest to that personally, not only in 20 years of working with clients and seeing them realize this for themselves, but I went through it for my own self, and I didn't think I was up to the challenge at all. But we learn the skills, we find the way, we get the support. Next thing you know, we create the change, and by keeping it real. And number 2, the second tip, you can't live a positive life with a negative mind. Stop the self-criticism. Although being honest with yourself is important, do it from a framework of positive regard, self-esteem, a little compassion for yourself, and by way of focused, skillful tools that support self-confidence building. Realize, embrace, and radically accept the value of mistakes as growth opportunities. And for many, they can bring up so much pain and the feeling of failure and shame. But really, mistakes are growth, even loss, of a friendship, whatever might have happened in your life that you're so hard on yourself about. Turn it into the positive reality that mistakes really are growth opportunities, and get on. Let's get you on the path if you're not already, but keep on moving down. Get on the path or keep on moving down the path to your growth opportunities. And number 3, please stop the self-sabotage. Talking or thinking to yourself in negative or self-deprecating or hateful ways is self-sabotage of the first and highest order. Whatever you tell yourself in your self-talk or what you're thinking, you will believe. What you believe can either catapult you to success, peace, and happiness, or if it's negative, it can be a roadblock to your goal, attainment, accomplishments, and dreams. Learn to have a loving, compassionate self-talk dialogue with yourself and do away with any negative, self-doubting self-talk so that you can stop hurting yourself. Because if you had an experience like mine, or you're someone watching this in more just personal development, and you don't have, you didn't come from like one of those terrible childhoods people talk about and really hurt sometimes lifetimes from, then it's really important to know that to whatever degree this might resonate with you, you really need to be actively, mindfully aware and stop hating yourself. Number 4, focus on your strengths. And even if you don't think you have any, just you do. And so try to just reframe, the critical talk about maybe I'm not good at anything to like, well, I do pretty good at, and pick something, because there's something there, I promise. You just need to focus and give it a chance. As you listen to your inner voice, your self-talk throughout each day, notice that you are consciously or subconsciously making what are often critical comments about yourself, or thinking them, you might be saying, or in your mind thinking, why did I just do that? Or that was so dumb. Or did that person really like me? Or why do I hang out with these people? I don't even think they care about me. Do they get me? Do they understand me? What happened there? What's the matter with me? I'm just not as good as everyone else. Oh, and it can't even get worse than that. This is not focusing on your strengths. Critical and or negative self-talk isn't even focusing on your weaknesses. It's old, pattern, distorted, core negative beliefs about yourself from childhood. And we have to start to let them go by recognizing what the self-talk is really trying to teach you about where you've been and what you've been through and what you need to be more consciously aware of. And yes, it can be painful at times, but it's so freeing if you'll take the journey, and you are so much stronger than you think. And just your strength and what you survived up until this moment, whether it's been a ton, a lot, or a little, that means that's one strength you can write down right now as a positive self-talk affirmation. And number 5, the 5th tip is be nice to yourself. Shifting from negative to positive self-talk is the way to get unstuck. Focus on making sure your self-talk is not only positive, but you're being kind and loving to yourself. Do you take care with your own feelings and your thoughts? Mindfully observe any doubts. Radically accept them. Do not engage them in a negative way. It's okay. Don't judge. Don't judge yourself. Get back to the positive focus and keep moving on with your day. And tip 6, learn to value yourself. This is so very important. Focus on valuing as opposed to devaluing yourself, because that's what negative hateful self-talk, negative self-talk, and negative core beliefs, that's what that is, devaluing yourself. And it's actually even abandoning yourself. Believe, and you don't deserve that, so believe that you are not your negative cognitive thought distortions. Stop letting past hurt fool you into believing that your distorted thoughts are authentically who you are. They're not. Quite the opposite. Negative, distorted core thoughts or beliefs from a painful childhood are not about who you are or who you're becoming today at all. It's all about the false self. It's all about what maybe a parent didn't like about themselves and kind of shot your way. And you didn't deserve that, and it's not about you, but you might be believing things that a parent said to you a long time ago. Because I have a lot of clients that I talk to that are in that situation. Mindfulness gives you a pause to observe, not absorb. Negative self-talk just long enough to disengage it and create the change of replacing it with positive self-talk. Act as if until. Okay, so you act as if while you're in the process of change and learning and growing until you get there with compassion for yourself. And the 7th tip is mindfulness practice in changing self-talk. Practice mindfulness at least once every day. You might start out for just 2-3 minutes at a time, but building like up to 10 minutes, increasing by 5 minutes, maybe once a week, whatever you're comfortable with, until you reach 30 minutes minimum, if not more a day, like maybe 2 times 30 minutes. Observe and describe your negative self-talk. Write it down. Become aware of it, and then start letting it go by reframing it. Do not engage the feelings or the thoughts that can be triggered by the negative self-talk. Let those thoughts come and go without engaging them. Don't judge them. Don't attach to them. You've been too attached to them and they've hurt you. Then you won't be led back to the same negative beliefs or self-talk that you so do want and need to break out of, if this resonates with you, so that you can feel better about you and change your life. And something I'll run in this picture here. Mindfulness practice and meditation will help you shift from negative self-talk to positive self-talk. Practice. Take action as you mindfully sit still and observing what you no longer want to attach to emotionally. Be always mindful that comparison is the opposite of compassion. Reframing your self-talk. You can do that by using some of the following tips, and there are many other ways too, along with this. But to cognitively reframe your negative thoughts, use affirmations mindfully, but also allow yourself to be aware of even the most painful negative critical self-talk. That's a good start. And then mindfully just radically accept it and don't let it hurt you anymore. Instead of saying something like, nothing I do ever turns out right, reframe that to, well, it's okay to make mistakes and learn and grow, and have gratitude for that. I'm doing well, and things will turn out fine. And again, just even if you don't believe that right now, saying it will lead you to the beginnings or to further beginnings of change or to further change. And it's also really important. Trust mindfully with radical acceptance that things are as they are meant to be in your life right now for a purpose that you may not yet understand. But it's so important to trust that. And that too is a process to begin and to grow with. Rather than thinking something like, I'm too lazy and not worth the effort to exercise, reframe that with, it's okay that I'm not perfect. I'm worthy of exercise and I will exercise more than not. I'll get there more than not. I am going in a healthy direction. I have reason to half smile at the very least, or widely smile, because I have compassion for myself, meaning you. And dear whoever is reading this, sounds not very caring, but I mean it in a very kind and caring way. I hope you have a reason to smile today. And if you haven't smiled yet, find a reason. Sometimes when I have like a harder day, some days are more stressful than others, I just like go to my favorite comedian. With all Netflix and all these things we have now, just go to something you've watched before, or a comedian or a comedy show thing, and laugh. Just laugh. Even if the rest of your life right now feels like it's all not going right, negative self-talk right there, and extreme thinking, we can always have a reason to smile and a reason to find a laugh. It's so important to believe in yourself. If you were going to say, there's nothing really special about me, reframe that to everybody has strong points and mine are. And then think about some. I survived my family, or I'm still here, or I have my health. There's many things that really, if you start to think about it, you can write down. Also remember that there is no need or value in comparing yourself to others. Run your own unique race. Be uniquely who you are. And if you're not sure who you are right now, as in the case of some of my clients, different mental health challenges, then just be uniquely whatever that means to you at the moment. Don't worry about the whole who you are. That's more than good enough, whether you know who you are or you're still working to find out who you are. Run your own unique race. You just need to know and believe that, and that you're worthy of that. You are worthy just because you are you, not based on what you do or do not do. Life transformation is so very possible. Going from a negative, self-destructive, unhealthy self-talk to positive, healthy esteem and worth, building and sustaining self-talk is so possible. I hope if you haven't already, you'll choose it. And if you tried and it didn't work out, choose it again, try again. It's always okay to begin again and again and again. Learn and practice skills to help you and amaze yourself. You so deserve to, just like a butterfly, just getting out of that cocoon. What is the hurt? What's holding you back? And, getting to the next stage of wherever you need to be. Self-worth is so important. Some people will like you for no reason. Some people will not like you for, again, absolutely no really known reason. It doesn't have anything to do with you. So many people take that personally. Who you choose to spend time with the most, and the thoughts and effort, and who you think about, and the effort that you put on someone or with people, relationships, whatever you're doing, depend on exactly how much you like yourself. By just staying near to people who treat you poorly, you are telling them it's okay to do so. Only keep people close to you who treat you well, and work on making sure that you treat others well. But start by treating yourself well. And Dr. Kristin Neff, 3 elements of self-compassion, which is so very important in this journey. Self-kindness, understanding for yourself, not punishment. And then you'll be more understanding of others and not wanting to punish others. A sense of common humanity. In other words, don't feel like you're alone with whatever you're going through. You're not. Everybody goes through this, whatever this is. Yes, varying degrees of this or that, but everybody goes through things. Everybody has stuff to work through, to be challenged by, that helps them grow if it's embraced, or it can really hurt and keep you stuck if you don't embrace it. So embrace it and know you're not alone with whatever you're feeling you're going through. And mindfulness, neither ignoring nor exaggerating feelings of any kind, let alone feelings of failure. For example, some of my clients, they're alone. They don't have relationships right now. They're working on really difficult things with self-talk, negative self-talk, self-hatred, lack of compassion for themselves, and they project that out onto others. But here's what I really wanted to say. You're not alone. They feel like they're alone. They are in such desperate pain, feeling alone and isolated and alienated. But this is part of the human condition. I guarantee you, you are not alone. Are you fully aware of just how what you say to yourself influences what you believe and the choices you make in life? To ensure that your self-talk is empowering and encouraging, practice the tips above. You have the power to create the life you want by mastering this crucial art of shifting your self-talk focus or thinking focus from critical or negative, often what we perceive or we're told, and how we were left feeling by a critical parent, which is called in psychology introjection, meaning the child takes on the parent's negative, critical, or maybe they're just stressed out or whatever, but the child takes it on like it's their fault. I'm here to tell you right now, in your self-talk, it's like for your self-talk benefit and change here. It's not your fault. It's never the child's fault. And to all that is uniquely true about you and all that is positive about you, you need to let go of these old negative core beliefs and thoughts and pattern ways of thinking. You deserve to love yourself with positive regard, affirming your self-worth and self-esteem in positive ways. Sometimes we don't meet our goals, or we fall a little short, mistakes or growth opportunities, and the only failure is not continuing to try. See, I'm not even perfect in doing this video. That's okay, it's really okay. Oh, see, and I forgot to, I'm coming back here. So this is what we do in life. We carry on. So I just wanted to read you a quote that I put on top of this picture that, every time I go by that bench, I think about when I was 14, but not in a bad way anymore. Just in a way of what a catapult that night was. How that night catapulted me to where I wanted to go, even though I didn't know it right then. No matter where we have been, or how negative our feelings, thoughts, and self-talk, the really good news today that I want you to be so aware of and think about, meditate on, be mindful of, is each moment we are mindfully present to now gives us a new opportunity to choose positively, to let go of all yesterday's pain. It's a process, but to let go and move forward. You deserve that. What you believe about yourself, what you think determines how you will feel. You are not out of control. Mindfully accepting and living radically with courage in each present moment can and will help you heal the hurts of all your yesterdays. It will help you to learn how to love yourself enough. You are so worthy of that. You are enough right now. Be very mindful of your self-talk and know that changing your self-talk to a positive and self-trusting outlook will change your life more than you could have ever dreamed. I know this because I did it, and I help clients do it every day. I know because I've been there. In my transformation from negative to positive self-talk, compassion for myself and healthy self-love as opposed to the hate and anger and everything that I lived with when I was growing up, is so healing and life-changing, and it sticks, okay? We go forward, we get to a point we don't have to ever go back anymore, and we're free, and then we can soar and fly because first love yourself. And so it's this healthy self-love, self-talk, it will be so healing for you and life-changing and so marvelously freeing. So I hope this video was helpful, resonated with you in some way, and hopefully you can take from this and other things that you read or that you're looking into, or maybe you're in therapy, maybe you're seeing someone. Hopefully you can just know that there's always hope. And we can change. We can make a new choice at any moment that we want to. Transform your self-talk. Begin to do that today. And remember, I was once 14 years old sitting on that bench right there, lost. Really, really lost. Didn't know who I was in a very abusive situation. It was suffering for sure. But the good news is, we can bust out of that. We can break free. We can make all kinds of changes. There are no limits to personal development, personal growth, recovery, mental health issues. If we just make the choices, and transforming your self-talk is one core choice, and we just make the choices that support our moving forward and knowing more and consciously being more aware of this process and sacred journey that we can take. So to any black sheep out there, to any scapegoats out there, to anyone who was like me, the firstborn, and then suddenly like the scapegoat and the brother or the sibling or whatever it was, in my case, the golden child, we can survive all of that. We can let that go. It's so unimportant in the grand scheme of life. Your soul, your spirit, your whole beingness is just waiting for you to make the choices that will support your changes. The changes that you need and want in your life. Across the board, all is possible. And just transforming your self-talk is one core piece of work and part of the process. It's heavy duty for some. It's not as heavy duty for others. I hope if you haven't taken that journey yet, if you're not on that journey now, if you were on that journey and you stopped, I hope you'll either begin today or begin again. And if you happen to be somebody who's dealing with somebody who's got mental health challenges or someone who's difficult in some way or even toxic, then you also need to pay attention, because we all do as human beings anyway. But also you might need to transform your self-talk about what you're experiencing from someone else, because there's going to be a connection to your past also. Anyway, transform your self-talk. Believe in yourself. Have compassion for yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. Life's hard enough. Become. Be and become, or become and be your best friend. Take care now.